Request permission for the mayor to sign 5311 supplemental agreement number 1, which is a budget amendment between OUT and MDOT, and this will be at no cost to the city. You'll add that at 4D. And then, because I know that most people that are here tonight are here for a specific item, I was going to move that up so they don't have to stay through all of this unless they want to. So we're going to move 7A and 7B up to 1D, 1C, or 1D, 1E, sorry. Is that it, Ashley? I don't think
Yes, ma'am. That's all I had.
All right, then could I have a motion to adopt the agenda with those changes?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, a quick mayor's report tonight. I'm gonna give you an update on the construction projects that you see around town. Our North Lamar Molly Bar Roundabout project is underway with phase 1 on the west leg of Molly Bar Road. Demolition and asphalt removal was completed last week, and this week crews are installing the storm drain pipe and hauling in dirt. Again, the anticipated completion date of that is early December. So if it goes like most things, January the 5th. South Lamar Pedestrian Improvements Project, crews spent last week saw cutting asphalt to be removed, and milling of existing asphalt and demolition of existing curbs and driveways is beginning this week. At our University Avenue Highway 7 roundabouts, they call this phase of construction phase 4, where crews are laying the storm drain pipes, and you will notice that they're constructing the curb inlets along the outside edge of both directions. And phase 5 should begin in early October, and when that begins, we'll see traffic patterns increase back to 2 lanes in each direction, with construction shifting to the west between McClarty Road and Bramlett so that they can complete the final project tie-in there at that intersection. West Jackson Avenue improvements at Chick-fil-A, the materials for that project were delivered to the city shop last week on Friday. Installation is planned to begin on September the 8th. You will see crews around the square that will be resealing and painting crosswalks. They'll start at North Lamar and Jefferson, and they will be upgrading 51 crosswalks in the downtown area in the coming weeks. So lots of construction underway and more to come to meet the needs of this growing community. Next we have, that's the end of my mayor's report, so we will move to 1D. So Mark Levy, you can come up and present that item.
As outlined in the proposed resolution, the procedure for selling public property is set forth in Mississippi Code Section 21-17-1. The property under consideration tonight includes the Cedar Oaks home, along with lots 29, 30, and 31 of Avent's Park Hills subdivision. This resolution would declare the property surplus and authorize the sale through a public bid process, which would be advertised in the local newspaper. To provide some context, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen, the exhibit on the screen. The map that you see there shows the 10 undeveloped lots that are part of the Avent Park Hills subdivision. They're outlined in yellow. The 3 lots that are being considered this evening are lots 29, 30, and 31. They're highlighted in green. And as you can see, the Cedar Oaks house and its related improvements are located entirely within these 3 lots. For further reference, the approximate route of the Cedar Oaks Trail is shown in white on the map, and the unopened portion of Edison Road is also marked. At this time, I'll pause because I know the mayor has some additional comments that she would like to make to clarify the process. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. I want to begin by stating what I have stated publicly on social media. 2 things that I think are critical for everyone to understand is that this board has no intention of selling any of the lots surrounding Cedar Oaks that are used currently as the walking path in the park. This green space will be preserved and will continue to be maintained by the city regardless of what the board determines is in the best public interest regarding the ownership of Cedar Oaks. Cedar Oaks and the lots that it sits on are and will remain a Mississippi historic landmark. Alterations to the building by any buyer would have to be approved by the Mississippi Department of Archives and History. Should the house be sold, I think it's also important to note the board's commitment to reinvesting the funds into another city-owned historic building. So I want to provide just some clear answers to a few things that I've received in numerous emails and that I've seen on social media. First, I want to address the timing of this item on the agenda. In February of 2024, the first conversations regarding the offer of Cedar Oaks home to the Guild began. In May of 2024, Cedar Oaks let us know that they had hired an attorney to counsel them on whether or not taking over the home was a viable option. The Guild, through their attorney, sent a list of questions that included monthly maintenance costs and other expenses. And the city attorney responded in full with answers to all of those questions, with a list of all maintenance that had been performed on the house since 2010, a list of all monthly contracts, and all expenses. And it's important, I think, to note that when Guild members and aldermen and staff members met that day, we talked about the expenses and talked about the fact that it could probably be done a lot cheaper by the Guild than it is by the city of Oxford. For instance, we pay monthly contracts for landscaping and grass mowing and housekeeping and things that could be done by the Guild if they chose to save money on those contracts. When we talked in May 2024, we stressed that this was being brought up because we were entering our budget process. We've now gone through 2 budget sessions with the city continuing to fund all expenses and no response from the Guild. To act as though this process has been rushed is unfair. To indicate that there has been no allowance for negotiations and no information provided to the Guild is just untrue. I've provided all of the emails to several Guild members who reached out with concerns that were unfounded. So why is this on the agenda tonight? Because we've waited until the last moment of our budgeting process in hopes of receiving an answer from the Guild. This should come as no surprise to the Guild. We've waited 18 months and no one has been rushed. For those who say it was put on the agenda and advertised on a Friday afternoon, you're correct. As is every meeting that's held on a Tuesday, the agendas are posted on the Friday before the Tuesday meeting. It's been that way forever. This is our standard policy. On June 25th, our city attorney again emailed the Guild attorney the following. Just to confirm my voicemail and to re-extend the information that the city has offered several times, the city remains open to the idea of donating Cedar Oaks to the Guild. You have told me in repeated conversations that the Guild is unable to accept it, but I just want to make crystal clear that the city would certainly consider going that route. It's my understanding that the city put off consideration of budget issues and future handling of Cedar Oaks to roughly July 13th. So if your folks have, in all caps, any interest in this extended period, please let me know ASAP, and certainly far enough in advance of the date to address any issues that might emerge. I've seen people say, why would the city communicate with the Guild's attorney? Because every question that we've received and every comment and phone call has been from the Guild's attorney. Why would we not continue that line of communication? The second item that I'd like to address is the Mississippi landmark designation and the information that I've seen distributed publicly that is insinuating that this designation doesn't apply to privately owned properties unless they wish to be included. That's simply false. A letter that was received in October 2024 and provided to the Guild from the Mississippi Department of Archives and History reads, while it is ultimately up to the city and the Cedar Oaks Guild to determine if the Cedar Oaks property, in whole or in part, will be transferred back to the Guild, all 8 lots recorded in the Mississippi landmark designation are subject to the Antiquities Law of Mississippi. This requires the owner to submit a notice of intent to MDAH for alterations of any nature to ensure the project is acceptable and that the proposed treatments conform with the Secretary of the Interior standards of rehabilitation. Furthermore, alterations of Mississippi landmark properties, including restoration, renovation, repairs, or ground disturbing activities, require a permit for the MDAH Board of Trustees prior to the project's commencement. The Mississippi landmark designation applies regardless of ownership. Some have posted and emailed a section from the MDAH website that talks about private property being designated as a Mississippi landmark. The information that states that the law provides a process for the designation of private property at the request of the owner is referring to properties that are privately owned and are not currently designated as Mississippi landmarks, but would like to be. Once a property is designated as a Mississippi landmark, which Cedar Oaks is, The designation remains in place regardless of owner. An example, in the city of Oxford that's privately owned but must go through MDAH approvals for restorations is Amadale. Regarding costs of maintenance and upkeep, the annual budget for Cedar Oaks Home is around $50,000 a year based on annual service contracts. The city has spent more than $300,000 on capital improvements on the house and grounds over the years. I think it's important to note that the decision to surplus this property is not simply about the monthly expenses. It's the fiduciary responsibility of this board to look at every expense and determine the level of public benefit, and if this is a wise use of taxpayer dollars. Former Alderman of Ward 1, Rick Addy, is here, and he had asked me if he could speak tonight, and so I'm going to let him speak. And then, although this is not a public hearing, we're happy to hear from one person representing the guild if one person would like to speak. So I'll turn it over to Rick Addy.
The reason I'm here is I was there for the 9.25 years while we were dealing with everything. Met with many guild members, met with their president, their treasurers, quite a few other people. If you're a member of the guild, would you stand up right now? I just want to see how many are here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, thank you. Just wanted to know a number. So as I've come to several of the meetings, not meetings, I came to several of the events and actually came to a couple of meetings, and then I went down at Nukes with Barbara Purden and a couple of other people and went over the numbers, and I've said from day one, I've tried to show them, here's the numbers, here's what the city is offering to do, give it to you. It's going to cost you X amount. I don't know if you charge each member $50 a year or whatever it is, but here's numbers. And I kept bringing numbers. I don't know how much easier it could be for us to say, when I was a board member, please take the house. If you don't want it in 6 months, give it back. If you don't want it in a year, give it back. Use it for 10 years, and if it needs new paint, give it back. Just take the house. And I've said that over and over and over, and that might not be what they want to hear, but that's what I kept saying. And it's as easy as take the house. I don't know how much easier we can make it, or they can make it. I can't anymore. But I've said it over and over and over again. Y'all do a great job. We love what you do there. I do. I had my wedding reception there. I love the house. We photographed pictures in front of it. Not in front of the house, but in the yard. I would love to still see it there, but the city is asking y'all to take the house. Y'all had it for a number of years. The city took it. They've put new paint, new roof, new air conditioning, new kitchen, it's done. Take the house. You've probably got a quorum here right now. If you want to step out and take a vote. I don't know if the president's here. I don't see her. There she is. Yeah, hey.
Is the offer still on the table?
I don't know. That's up to them. But if I were y'all, as I've said over and over here, take the house. It's free. It's going to cost you electricity, gas, whatever it costs per month. But y'all had great ideas. Maybe we can find a Boy Scout to mow the grass. That's free. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do this. We came up with all kind of ideas for y'all to make money. And I haven't seen any of that come to fruition, but take the house if it's still offered. I would suggest if they offer it tonight, y'all can walk outside, take a vote, and come back in. That's y'all's call. But I love the house. Like I said, I've had many a photography session there. I've had lots to do there. It's a great house. I'd love for y'all to, but that's up to them. Any other questions? I'd be glad to answer anything anybody's got. Questions? Oh, yes.
Are you aware of the number of people from around the state, the region, the United States, and internationally that get docent tours for free through that house?
No, but
There are a lot of them, and we have a record of them all.
I haven't debated any of that. I do too. I've told you from day one. I love the house. I've voted for the house. I'm telling you. It's yours. It's free. Take it. All you got to do is pay the electricity, the gas. I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know how many members you have. Now, if you've got 40, and it's, I don't know how much it is a year now for the gas and electricity and whatever, I bought all those numbers to you. I wish somebody would give me the house, I'd take it, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't afford it, because, I can't afford it.
I don't know, we could vote on that
Well,
right
we
now.
can, I can't afford to buy it, but would love it if you handed me the house. I mean, keep it for 6 months, and then give it.
Well, and to interrupt, we've
Sorry.
said all these things for
I know,
18
I know.
months. I mean, this is not the first time this
Well, I've said it
discussion
for
has taken place.
many years, and-
You've said it for many years. You've
So-
said it in meetings with the guild. We've said it in meetings. We've said it in emails. We've said it in requests to please let us know if you want to talk about it. And there's never even been any interest in a conversation. So
Well, I've
that's
had
where we
those,
are.
But we just hadn't heard of. It's almost like it's too easy,
Yeah.
and sometimes it seems like it's too easy, and it scares you. But
Well, this is not a public hearing, and
I
so
know.
I'm not going to
Thank you.
just entertain questions from the audience.
Okay.
But if there's a person from the guild that would like to stand up and speak, we welcome you to do so.
thank y'all.
Thank you.
This is a weird spot.
Yeah, I bet.
It's kind of cool.
Yes, Carrie, feel free to come up.
Or is there anybody else that would like to?
All right. Hey, thanks. Thanks for allowing me to say something.
Sure.
I wasn't planning on it, but the city did offer us, and it's a generous offer to take the house, but it's also an expensive offer. It's not something that we wanted to go in lightly. And you actually, in February, the meeting was about changing legislature. The house was not offered to us until May, and so there's a little discrepancy there.
24. Yeah.
We
24, May of 24?
Yes,
So
May of
a year.
2024.
Year, 14
May, since we've switched over to September, we'll go ahead and say 16 months instead of 15 months. We started doing some research, and we felt like we needed to hire a lawyer to help us. My background is commercial art. I don't know, this is something that's out of my comfort zone. And so we felt like we needed a specialist and to hire a lawyer. So what happens with us is that we have monthly board meetings from September until May. And the board will ask our committee, hey, ask the lawyer this. So the committee will write a letter. It goes from the committee to our lawyer, to your lawyer, to the mayor, and then in reverse. And then it's discussed at the next meeting. It's a lengthy process on our end, and we've been a little frustrated with how long it's taking too. As the president of the guild, I want to know, hey, do we need to have a guest speaker in October, or are we going to let this house go? I need to know so that I can make future plans as well. And so it has been a lengthy process, and I know that you're frustrated with it, and we are too. As far as, we knew that the house was up for discussion to be sold. It's summer break, and maybe there was a misconnection. I have not been into the committee meetings. I didn't meet with Rick, and so what I was hearing today with Rick Addy, what I was hearing today was news to me, although I did meet with him at a, was it Mayfest? I met with him, and he had some good ideas about finding the house. So I'm a little bit surprised to hear that from him. When we got the budget from the city and the HPC, there's a lot of numbers, and it has like a budget for utilities, but it's not itemized. We don't know how much of that is water, gas, lights. We do know that we could farm out like the housekeeping and the lawn care, and we're willing to do that gladly. And we know that that would be cheaper on us. But we just wanted to have time for an informed decision. When I talked to Abby, who was part of this process in 2010, she said that there was a back and forth process for 2 years, at least 2 years, before everything was agreed upon between both parties. And so I think the committee felt like, because you had said earlier the mayor had said earlier, to take your time, to do plenty of research, and to come back. We had it on our agenda to discuss in September, and our first meeting is next week on September 9th, and it was on the agenda to discuss. And so I would like to ask for the aldermen to postpone your decision, at least for a week, so that we can make an informed decision. Our membership hasn't met since May, I think it was May 13th, and there has been no vote. There's been a lot of discussions with the board, and some of us want to do it and some of us don't.
I get it, it's a tough decision.
It is a tough decision. Another big decision for us is that when you discussed giving the house to us at the May meeting, May 2024 meeting, you said, the city would pay for insurance. And so in our negotiations with our lawyer, to your lawyer and to the mayor and coming back, they have said no. And so I think that we can fund the utilities. That is not a problem. I'm very concerned about paying for the insurance, and maybe that's a discussion that.
Well, and our attorney says that we can't.
Okay.
And so it's not an unwilling, it's an unable.
Okay.
To do so.
Okay. So part of our concerns with
We
it.
sent that back in an email. But-
Right. Part of our concerns with the insurance is we've talked to several different agencies, and they're like, how can we give you a number for insuring your property because this is a unique house? Somebody said self-insure, but we don't have enough money to self-insure.
Right.
So the insurance scares us. We also found out that if we had an event that had alcohol, the liability rate for that insurance goes up, even is astronomical. And so, Rick, the house is affordable. I'm not sure that we can afford insurance. And so we were still trying to find out our options for that. We've talked to several places about getting a grant. That sounds great. It's a bad time to ask for grants right now. And so, and a lot of those grants want matching money. And so if the grant is $20,000 and we have to match $20,000 to get $20,000, it's hard. We can do it, but we might not be able to afford insurance. So those are some of our considerations and concerns. Let me just look real quick. Yeah, that's most of everything that I wanted to discuss. But this is something that myself and the Guild, we're so very thankful for everything that the city has done to maintain the house. It looks great. You all matched a grant recently, and we got a new facelift on the outside, and everything is so pretty, and we're so grateful, and we don't want to seem like we're not. But we would like just a little bit more time to ensure that this is something that we can do. And it's not just making sure the lights are on and making sure that we can pay the water bill and find a Boy Scout to mow the grass. We've got to pay the insurance, which is our really big concern. So, and also with the grants is, they don't want to give you a grant to keep your light on. They want something for that money. And so it's, a lot of people have said, oh, do that. And it's something that we would like to find an easy solution, but there's not one. So if the aldermen and the mayor would consider giving us at least another week, it would be great if you could give us until October, so that there are a few more questions that we would like to ask our lawyer, to ask your lawyer, to ask the mayor, and to bring it back. There are a few more questions and responses that we'd like to hear. And if you give us until October to make that decision, we would really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks.
And that is up to the board.
Under the proposal, which is under consideration, there would be nothing happened until October 15th. So that is time you have without this board coming back and restarting the process. You have that time. The request is for sealed bids. We do not have to accept any bid whatsoever. And so I think under this scenario, you have your time. You have time to meet and meet again to finalize it. But I think the time has come to go. And regardless of, I understand meetings and getting a quorum and things of that nature, but you will have that time under this resolution. You will have, the bids won't be due until October 15th. And as I've said, my offer is always to donate. If the board wants it, I will never, doesn't matter. I'm not in, this is not about making money at all. So that will always be there. I don't think it's going to stop. Your decision can come during the process. That's my opinion.
The offer is still on the table, is what you're saying.
Of course.
We couldn't have been more clear about that, even in our email on June 25th, saying this is our first, we have made crystal clear that that was our intention
A vote,
throughout the entire process.
that's right. A vote tonight does not take that offer off the table.
Can you add what you said to the resolution? I'll make a resolution that if they decide
Again, the resolution is stated, but we can certainly, there can be motions, but what I'll say is this, the resolution, if I've read it correctly, just provides, gives us permission to seal bids, and those sealed
Correct.
bids run for 3 weeks through, well, more than that, because it runs until October 15th, correct?
You have to advertise publicly for 3 weeks, and then
And
we'll
at
let
that
the-
time, it's a board vote. Do we accept an offer? Do we accept any of the bids or not? So the language is in there. Providing that additional time, it's already there.
well, but it doesn't, if they were to say, yes, we love it,
That would be the conversation, Drew.
here it is.
That,
so why not just add that in and make a motion?
Well, we don't need to. It's already there, so you don't need to.
you don't
It's
need
there,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Talking
board
to
will
them.
have the,
Even if you were to give it away, you have to do the property surplus resolution either way.
Mark.
That has to be the start.
I think everybody on this board wants the guild to have it. That is the ultimate goal. Now, if they don't want it, then we're going to do something else. So that is, I'm speaking for myself, but I believe
been
everybody.
everybody's statement for 17 months. That is what we have said. So Mark, proceed with the item, and any other board members, if you want to change anything or whatever, now is the time to do that. So you've got your resolution before you.
Can I, as president of the guild, guarantee that we will give the city a decision by October 14th?
Sure.
I like that on record.
I mean, that's,
I move to, excuse me, let me get it in front of me, and I apologize.
Oh, wow.
Just
Wow.
to be
that,
clear,
please don't interrupt the meeting and be disrespectful. We have been very respectful and have let lots of questions be asked when it's not a public hearing, and there's just really no reason to be disrespectful.
Again, what I understand is the process of, and our resolution will call for, and it does call for sealed bids to be presented no later than October 15th. As the resolution provides, I move that we pass the resolution as worded.
I'll second.
All right, that's a motion and a second. All in favor, vote aye. Any opposed, vote nay.
Nay.
All right, next is to request permission to advertise for sealed bids for the sale of Cedar Oaks House.
this is the follow-up item to the surplus resolution that was just passed and seeking permission to advertise for the property, to sell the property. The notice of public sale outlines special conditions, bid requirements, and deadline for offers. If approved, this notice will be advertised in the Oxford Eagle on September 10th, 17th, and 24th, and will also be available online on the city's public bid website. You do not have to accept any offers. This is just the permission to advertise.
And it remains open until October.
October 15th.
All right, is there a motion to grant permission to solicit bids?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
It's
All right.
1
Thank you.
PM, October, 1 PM is the deadline,
October 15th.
October 15th.
All right, thank you, Mark. All right, we'll move then to the city clerk's office. Request permission to approve a correction to the minutes of the regular meeting on September 17th. Actually, let's take about a 3-minute recess so that people can exit the courtroom before we start.
But we make a 3-minute recess.
Hey, Kellum. Gloria Kellum would be so disappointed in her daughter. Yeah.
How we go again?
Yes, it would.
How can I say, how many times can I say remember me?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And Acts 5.
I did remember.
That's good. Kate Kellum. Who? Kate Kellum. Never seen her before in my life.
But she, I didn't even hear it.
Psycho. My quote is, okay. All right, I'll call the meeting back to order, and we will proceed. Without any cattiness from the front row now. Let's go to city clerk's office, request permission to approve a correction to the minutes of the regular meeting on September 17th.
Yes, a bit of housekeeping. Realized the other day, looking at some of our grants, that I had left off about 4 words in one of the motions.
All right,
And so that correction is posted to the packet. Yep, it was to adopt the budget for same, one of our grants.
all right, is there a motion to approve that correction?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Request permission to approve the minutes from the recess meeting on August 6th and the regular meeting on August 19th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission to approve the accounts for all city departments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Budget hearing for fiscal year 25-26 proposed budget. Ashley?
Yes.
And you all have got sheets in front of you.
Yes, I'll kind of keep it brief. I'll start out by saying that the news everybody wants to hear is that there will be no tax increase. The millage rate will remain the same as last year at 32.65 mills for the city and 61.51 mills for the school. And any increase in taxes that people will see will be due to increased property values. Sales tax collections are trending upward, with us set to be up approximately 5% from last year. 2% food and beverage taxes are also trending upward, with us set to be up approximately 12% from last year. Hotel motel taxes are projected to end of the year being down about 3%. General fund expenses are up approximately 6% from the current year. Public safety continues to be about 51% of our total general fund budget. Overall, in the general fund, 57% of the budget is personnel, 12% is operating supplies, 14% is other services and charges, and 17%, or approximately $9.7 million, is capital projects and equipment. So those are assets to the city. As we move through the year, we'll add that much to our city. The board did vote for a 3% COLA for all full-time employees on top of all that. Yes. So as the mayor said, as we grow, so do our costs in personnel and other things. We also saw a $128 million increase in our assessed value. Our assessed value for 24-25 was $529,704,247. This year it is $658,033,737. An increase of $128,329,490. It's a lot of big numbers there. So our mill rate, our mill is valued now at $658,033 $33 versus $529,704 from last year. So everything is growing and increasing.
As are our
As we-
services
yes.
and number of trash customers and streets to be paved in new developments and number of officers needed for a growing student population in new neighborhoods. So we are excited that we can still meet all of those needs without having to raise taxes. We're very blessed that we can do that. So this is a public hearing on the budget. Does anybody on the board have any questions from Ashley? We've only spent about 100 hours on it so far, so I'm guessing no. It's interesting to see it all condensed down now to these sheets when we've been looking at it in a notebook this big. But is there anyone that would like to speak on behalf of the budget or have any questions or comments? All right, that is a first reading and public hearing. We will have a vote on the proposed budget in a special meeting on September the 10th.
The 10th, a recess, yes, recess meeting on the
Recess
10th
meeting
at
on
4
the 10th.
o'clock, where y'all will set the mill rate and adopt the budget.
All right, consider the consent agenda. We didn't have any additions to it tonight, so
Motion to consider the consent agenda.
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed? Next, we were asked to adopt a resolution naming September Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. And so this evening, we want to recognize the month of September as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. Across our nation and here in our own community, far too many families have been impacted by the tragedy of suicide. Declaring September in Oxford Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month gives us an opportunity to come together, to raise awareness, to break the stigma of silence, and to make sure our neighbors know that hope and help are always within reach. Suicide prevention is not only about responding in crisis, it's about creating a culture where people feel safe to talk about their struggles, where families and friends are equipped to listen and to care, and where resources are visible and available. National organizations like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and the National Alliance on Mental Illness are leading the way in education and support. Locally, we are grateful for the efforts Communicare and the Oxford Police Department's crisis intervention team, our schools, our churches, and health partners who walk with people every day through some of their hardest moments. We want our citizens to know that if you or someone you love is in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day. Simply dialing 988 will connect people with trained counselors who can provide support, guidance, and hope. We want to emphasize that reaching out for help is a sign of strength. By recognizing September as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, Oxford joins communities across the nation in standing together to support life, to encourage hope, and to remind every individual that they are seen, they are valued, and they are not alone. So with that, I would ask the board to declare September as Suicide Prevention Month.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Braxton, consider an employee dress code.
All right, you all have this dress code attached to your flip book. We've considered all departments when developing this dress code, from customer-facing employees to departments that have uniforms, and we feel like we've addressed a policy that fits all.
And this has been provided to all of our department heads, and changes were made as different departments read it, and we had adjusted to different scenarios and that kind of thing. And we talked about it again at our department head meeting last Thursday. So we think we've covered about every situation that you can address, and all of our employees are aware. So I would need a motion because this will be added to our employee handbook.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thanks, Braxton. Second reading and public hearing for a proposed ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 2, Technical Codes of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oxford to accept the 2024 edition of the International Fire Code. Chief Gardner?
Yes, ma'am. We're just moving up from the 2018 edition to the 2024 edition, and to my knowledge, we've had no contact from the fire department about any of these changes.
All right. This is the second reading and public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? All right, hearing none, would the board wish to vote tonight or have a third?
I'll move for a vote and to approve.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Great. At 4D, we added the permission for the mayor to sign the Outbus MDOT budget It's a supplemental agreement at no cost to the city. Donna's here, but again, it's at no cost to the city.
Move we approve.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Donna. I was trying to save you from getting up. Request permission for St. John's Catholic Church to hire uniformed off-duty officers for traffic assistance at an hourly rate of $46.
Yes, ma'am, we do this throughout the community, so this is a new place that had requested.
All right,
Move we approve.
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed? Request permission for St. Peter's Episcopal Church to also hire uniformed off-duty officers for traffic assistance at an hourly rate of $46.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for Mississippi Sports Medicine to host a radio show on September the 8th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m.
Yes, ma'am, so this will be in the Pocket Park, and they're just going to set up a 10-by-10 tent and then the sound booth, and they'll do a radio show from there.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to approve a parade assembly permit for Janice Carr to host a peaceful protest on October 18th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yes, ma'am, again, in front of City Hall, no movement. This will be strictly a conversation location, no march or anything like that.
I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to approve 7 parade assembly permits for Visit Oxford to host events around the square during the upcoming months.
Yes, so we had 7 different events. One is a university athletics event for Ole Miss Athletics, October 20th, and then the square lighting, November 13th, and then Shop Oxford, November 22nd. The first 2 would close down the area right here in front of City Hall. And then we also, and then Shop Oxford's just Pocket Park on November 22nd. And then also our 3rd Thursdays, which are in the Pocket Park with amplified music. And that is September 18th, October 16th, November the 20th, and December the 18th.
Awesome.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? I've got one. I got water, so open. All right, second reading, a public hearing for a proposed ordinance amending the zoning map for case 3253 by Elizabeth Fitz to rezone .44 acres from suburban residential to neighborhood residential for property located on Chrisman Road, being further identified as PPIN 30663.
Yes, ma'am. Just as you stated, this is a request to change the underlying zoning from suburban residential to neighborhood residential, similar to a request that y'all saw at your last meeting or recommended approval at the last meeting. No changes are proposed, and we've not received any feedback since our first reading.
This is second reading, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
and a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? All right,
I move for a vote and move we approve.
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed? Second reading and public hearing for proposed ordinance amending the zoning map for case 3254 by Elizabeth Fitz to remove .44 acres from the Blackberry Hills planned unit development for property located on Chrisman Road, being further identified as PPIN 30663. Same piece of property.
Same piece of property. This removes it from the Blackberry Hills PUD. We've not received any comments since our last first reading.
I move we approve that.
It's a public hearing, sorry. I'm asleep at the wheel. Public hearing, is there anyone here to comment on this item? All right, hearing none. Aaron, sorry.
You're good. I move we approve and go ahead and vote.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Second reading and public hearing for a proposed ordinance amending the zoning map for a case 3255 by Andy Callicutt to amend the Blackberry Hills planned unit development for property located on Northwood Trails and Chrisman Road, being further identified as PPIN 4975 5004 5047 26268 30362. Ben.
Yes, so as I described at the last meeting, this provides a new plan for the Blackberry Hills PUD, what remains of it, which is everything that's west of the Rowandale development. And since our last meeting, we've not received any comments or feedback on this.
This is less than except those 10 acres that are now out.
Correct.
Correct. And
adding the .44 acres.
And this is a public hearing as well. Is there anyone here to speak on this item? All right. Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion
that we go ahead and vote and approve.
All right,
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Let's jump to 7C, and ask Mark Levy to come back up and consider the recommendation of the Avent Park Selection Committee to accept a proposal and begin negotiations on a contract for the purchase of playground equipment. And we have had a committee of employees and park commission representatives and all that have spent a whole lot of time listening to, or going through the different RFPs, listening to presentations by 3 groups, and ultimately choosing one to recommend. So Seth, please thank your board members for us as well for all the time, and thank you, and to the city employees that have served on that committee. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so we had 7 qualified responses, and just to kind of give you an update, if you're at the Avent Park, the older park on the left-hand side, if you're walking past the pavilion, it's got the big tower. The plan for that is to demolish that and put an entirely new playground in that area within the fence. And actually, the company that was selected is going to extend the fence out toward the baseball field. But we were given 7 proposals. All thank everybody for submitting. They did a really good job. We ranked each one. After the initial ranking, the highest company was Planet Recess. We then invited the top 3 back to give a 30-minute presentation, and the same company, Planet Recess, that scored the highest on the initial ranking also was the recommendation by a 6-1 vote of the committee. So tonight we're just asking to award the RFP to Planet Recess and then work toward a contract where we negotiate the details of the contract.
We approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Exciting to get new playground equipment at Avent Park. Consider bids received for a temporary ice skating rink for Holly Jolly Holidays. Mark?
We got 3 bids. The low bid was Industrial Frigo USA with a total price of $69,500, which is the same company that did it last year, actually at a lower price this year. So we're just asking permission to accept that.
We approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Consider change order number 1 from Century Construction for the City Hall renovation project. Mark?
This is a $400 change order. We took out a subfloor at the city clerk's office to bring that down, and 0 days added. Very small change.
We approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Yes, Seth? Yes.
I want to clarify one thing Mark said. He's absolutely correct, but last time when I was up here and I said something about demolish or destroy or something about the playground, I received a bunch of phone calls. A lot of people did put, there was a lot of help from the community who did put hours into doing that. We are saving a lot of that playground that will be put around into other parks and that will be utilized even in these parks.
Great. Thank
We're
you
not
for,
just destroying it or demolishing it.
yes, thank you for clearing that up. And I hope everyone was still listening that, that was worried about that. All right. John Crawley requests permission to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a contract for the purchase of Lot 2, Anderson Road Student Housing Development.
Yes, if you'll recall, you authorized us to seek appraisals and negotiate an offer for 7.62 acres on Anderson Road near its intersection with Heritage Drive for the proposal of a new elevated water tank. And we've negotiated a price of $1.45 million. Contract for purchase, it was included in your packet. What we are seeking tonight is your permission to have the mayor sign that contract for purchase and also the closing documents, which will be prepared upon the signing of the contract.
People wonder what we do with all the money. Here's 1.5 million that will go to buy land for a new water tank.
We approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to accept the bids received and award a low bid for the Pumpkin Water System Water Plant Demolition Project. I don't think anybody will mind if this is demolished.
No, ma'am, this is just, we've accepted Pumpkin, we're supplying the water. This is just the demolition of their old water treatment plants that are no longer being used.
We approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to accept the bids received and award a low bid for the Pumpkin Water Well Abandonment Project.
Same thing, this is just abandoning their wells that are no longer active.
We approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Consider a request from Mid-South Companies LLC for the City of Oxford to provide water services to a proposed development at County Road 101, north of the city limits.
So think North Point, Oakmont, Briarwood, property north of there, which is currently vacant, is a proposed development. I'm not sure it's been through site plan review or anything with the county or the city, but they have requested that we serve them water should they receive approval. We already have a water main in that area, so all the infrastructure is in place. It's just your discretion.
Are we taking on the sewer?
It's there has been no request to serve sewer to them, no,
Nor
just
do we
water.
have the capacity to.
Yeah, we
If they
wouldn't,
asked us,
yeah,
we
we wouldn't have the
We don't
capacity
have
to
the
serve
capacity
sewer.
for the north side of town anyway,
We got
so.
capacity to handle this.
The water, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Move we
Yeah.
approve.
All right, is there a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Consider a request for overnight work and a street closure on Jefferson Avenue from 11th Street to 14th Street to repair the crosswalks.
So what we want to do, picture the 4 crosswalks at the Graduate across the street there in that intersection. They've faded over the years. The street department would like to go in overnight, starting tonight actually, and tomorrow night, repaint those, brighten them up, and then reseal them. It takes about 6 hours for those things to dry once we paint them. That's why we want to do this overnight. We would close Jefferson between 14th and 11th to through traffic. You'd still be able to get into the parking garage or into the county building, but we wouldn't allow Jefferson traffic to enter the traffic signal. North Lamar traffic will be directed through, so there will be no disruption to Lamar traffic.
Move we approve.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Great. I will ask the board to now consider an executive session.
I move we consider executive session.